Welcome back, gents, to the LEGO podcast. Last time around, we had amazing reception to episode 1. We have 1,500 subscribers on the channel now on YouTube, and I'm happy to announce that I finally stopped being lazy and actually uploaded it to Spotify, so you can now listen to it on Spotify if you want to, if you're so inclined.
Can you watch it on Spotify?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Spotify has video. I'm still working on getting Apple Podcasts up. Hit some road bumps of me not wanting to do it, and so
I love the honesty.
Yeah. So that's why it's not on Apple Podcasts, but it's on YouTube and Spotify now, so you can enjoy it there.
Yeah. Well, one day soon. But to get things started off in the right atmosphere, the right feel, the right mood, I'm just gonna go like hot and fast with just some rants, just like something that's been really, really annoying me, and particularly with the video that I'm working on at the moment. So, you know, in the first podcast, which if you haven't listened to, you should go listen to, we discussed on Bricklink that they'd taken down everything to do with military because it was purchased by Lego. You know that I had do you remember when I sent you my video ideas, and you remember there was one on there that was right at the very top? Don't say it out loud. But do you remember?
Was it?
Yeah. You know the one on there.
The one that wasn't supposed to happen?
Yeah, the one that just didn't happen. It's not a thing. So
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it requires 3 tanks, a road, and a pedestrian. You can figure out the rest.
I think someone might be able to figure that out.
Well, we'll see. Basically, so I've had the biggest problem ever because that model that I used that was originally on Bricklink, the model itself was all olive, and so what I had to go through every single part on there when I originally purchased it and change them all to dark bluish grey. At which point I realized a lot of the parts weren't because they didn't make them in olive. A lot of the parts weren't even made in olive. And then when I actually added it to my...
say olive is wild, by the way.
Olive? How's that?
Olive.
How is that?
Olive.
Listen, you've got an American telling me how to speak English. What is happening here? Anyway, so these parts were added to the cart, right? And some of them, some of these, you had one bit of wheel, which was 16 quid. Which is, I don't know, £16. What's that in America's weak currency? That's $400 or something.
Wait, aren't we almost equal with you now?
No,
after your whole Brexit thing.
No, you're not, bro. You're
Well, I'm looking it up.
£1 is $1.20.
Pound?
£1 is $1.20.
$1.25. That is pretty close.
$1.25. You gone down. Regardless, okay. Basically, this
it used to be $2. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I know it did. To be fair, it did. It's hovering on like a 1.2, a 20% stronger, 20% stronger than US currency. Point being, there's this one bit of wheel which costs literally, I'm not joking, one bit of wheel which is the track's supposed to go around it, right? 16 quid for one. And obviously, I'm building 3 of these tanks, and they have 4 each. So, you do the maths. It was absolutely absurd. So, half of the parts for these, tanks, I couldn't even order to begin with. And then, those of which that did arrive, when I say loads of it which did arrive, some of them just didn't arrive. So, I had, half the parts that I needed to make this model, which I had on Bricklink. And then, Lego goes and buys Bricklink, and they remove the page entirely from Bricklink. So now I can't even the instructions, what little instructions they were, I literally can't even see the instructions of how to build the tank anymore. It literally. So I've got all these parts, and some of them which aren't even there.
So did you buy the wheels?
No. I had to just substitute. Okay. I'm just having to figure out how to do it, bro. So I've got no instructions, and I've got honestly, mate, it's an absolute travesty. However,
you got scammed.
No,
you got scammed so hard.
No. There was a saving grace, and you won't believe this. When I was recording the B-roll of the website so I could show it in the video. I happened to download the studio file for the tank. And then I didn't realize I had this in my files. And then eventually, literally, on my desktop, there's a studio at the moment. Afterwards, I realized in my files that I had this Type 59. It could be any nation's tank. It's not particularly relevant to any specific period of history or anything like that. I had it in the file, and so I opened up this studio, and now I've got like a whole 3D model with like the parts and all that kind of stuff. And now, thank God, I can actually like piece this apart and then try to reconstruct this, because these models are like, it is like, you know, like a normal tank that you get on like Brickmania or something. Mate, it's like double the size of that. It's got like a fully fleshed out interior. It's way bigger than I thought it was. And I've just had an absolute nightmare with it.
I bought one of those, it was the same thing. I bought a Bricklink Tiger because I tried to buy like a Brickmania Tiger tank. It was like $800 or something
your left
like
arm.
that. Yeah, and you have to also like give your soul to the devil or something like that. And I was like, no, that is ridiculous. That is too much money. I'm sure it would be the best version of this tank. Like, props to them. They do good stuff. But it's too much money. It's like, that's not worth it. And then I looked on eBay and was like looking for like secondhand ones and all that crap. And I just couldn't find a Lego Tiger tank. And this was back when I was all high and mighty and like would not purchase fake Lego yet.
Yeah.
That has changed.
I still do. I'm still there, mate. And it's crippling my bank account, mate. It's crippling my bank account.
Well, I figured out that like I was making these elaborate videos and I was spending way too much money on them. Like the budget for them was too high. And mate. So I was like, I gotta cut back. I gotta stop with this, because if you guys don't know, like YouTube monetization is good, but unless you have a sponsor attached to the video. That's my dog.
We got a podcast guest today. We got a surprise guest on the podcast. It's Scot. By the way, if you don't know, Daley named his dog after me. So
that's not true. That's not true. I'm gonna go pick him up and put him in his crate because he's going nuts.
And whilst you do that, I'm gonna ramble on more about this. Like the prices, honestly, it's ridiculous. I think a lot of people don't necessarily appreciate what we actually like spend on videos. Is the dog on the podcast now?
Hey, I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. That's all right. I continued to ramble on about like how much money is actually spent on these videos. Like for these 3 tanks, it was $500 for me to get these 3 tanks. Like that's just $500 just straight up for 3 tanks, which I could barely even build. Like they're not even finished. Wait, they're just missing parts.
Is that USD or pounds?
That's USD. That's USD.
Okay, that's not okay. If it was pounds, like
it's like 400.
You would need above 200,000 views to like make that back, probably.
Yeah, like, and that's not like factoring in like editor costs or like thumbnail stuff or literally anything else in the video. That is just purely just to cover the tanks themselves.
With Lego minifigures, I'm a little bit better about it. Like, I have a bunch right here. I bought like a bunch of little Lego Geonosians. I'm doing a little show and tell over here, Scott.
Yeah.
And you know, they're expensive. Like, they're $10 a piece. So, you know, I have like 5 of them, so it's $50. At least with those, I can resell them on eBay or whatnot and like get the money back. But with individual Lego tanks and stuff like that, like bricks, it's so much harder to resell those and get your money back. So there's no way to like recoup the loss on the video. Like, you have to be pretty smart to actually profit on Lego YouTube, unless you're like massive like TD Bricks, who like gets 10 million views a video. Yeah. If you're getting like 100K to 200K, you have to reuse a lot of stuff or just like be really good about finding sponsors, which isn't a consistent thing. You know, I get like 1 a month on Lego channels, so it's like,
yeah, it's quite far and few between. Like, and that's another thing that people don't appreciate as well. Is like when we're doing these, like I think a lot of people like get the impression that like we're probably loaded because we're YouTubers. And then it's when you produce one of those videos where you've got a sponsor in it and they're like, oh, he's like selling out. It's like, oh, do you understand? Like, couldn't physically do this without that sponsor. Like literally, I would probably say, like, I don't know about you, but I would say like 75% of my revenue. I don't know if you're comfortable saying that. Like 75% to 25%, 75% sponsor, 25% YouTube ad revenue. I would say is probably like is probably what I operate with. Like that's
not me at all.
No,
I have a very different experience.
Really?
I would say, yeah, I would go 80% of my revenue is YouTube AdSense.
No way.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, but you've got higher RPM than me as well. Yeah, like I mean, it's just always, it's always been better than mine.
Well, also, I just have a very different channel. Like, you can get sponsors for your main channel way easier than I can. If you guys don't know, Scott and I aren't just Lego YouTubers, even though we've taken the Lego kingdom by storm.
Oh, yes, sir.
I run Daily Tactics. He runs Plastic Scott. And, you know, my videos are much more like daily posts, about 20K views per video after a few weeks, like that kind of a thing. Scott is much more like one video a week, would you say, and like 50 to 100K views.
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for.
You know,
I would say, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I want to be aiming for like higher than that views, like, but yeah, I would say about one video a week. I think, yeah, you just have a much bigger backlog as well. I would say, like, you've got a lot more out there that's just constantly generating views.
Yeah, but also the fact of the matter is, like, your content is much more conducive to gaining sponsorships versus mine, which is much more conducive to ad revenue.
Yeah, you know? yeah. That's fair. That's a fair point, actually. That is a fair point. Like, no, it's an interesting distinction. But like, back to the point, back to the ramble. Yeah, back to the ramble. I've barely got any like fake Lego minifigures. But the thing is, some of them. Okay, so here's the thing. So I've got like a bunch of like most of my minifigures come from United Bricks because they're based in the UK and therefore they're like quite easy for me to get at good time without much shipping cost. If I try and get anything from United States like TMC or Brickmania, mate, it costs me not only an arm and a leg to purchase it in the first place, but then I have to give them like my left kidney in order to ship it here. Like, it honestly is just that the shipping costs are that bad. And so, but what I've noticed is like from those like United Bricks like Lego minifigures, the minifigures themselves are very, very nice. They're very high quality. They're good. But the hats,
those ones are great.
You know the printed, like sometimes they have 3D printed hats and they are dreadful. And so I got like, they're so bad. They don't fit. They fall off. They're really, really, really bad. And so I got these like, I got like a bunch of Napoleonic British and French like minifigures. And like I just took the hats off them and put them onto like the United Bricks Lego minifigures. Some of those ones, though, I don't know. I can't find those ones again that I purchased. They're gone. They cease to exist on the internet. But like some of them, you can actually get really good ones. And I suppose to that degree, I'm more motivated by the quality of the minifigure itself. I guess I would say that rather than the fact that it's specifically just Lego, I would say, but the problem is so many of the knockoffs are like they have a cheap feel to them. You know, sometimes they don't fit the studs; they fall out of the studs. Some of them, like they're you know, they got like a gloss. They're really glossy and shiny, kind of like I am right now because I've got my lights on way too bright. Like they're just like I don't know, and I just don't like having them. I'm a perfectionist, and you know that, like, you know what I'm like. So
you go hard.
But it breaks the bank.
I will say the Brickmania helmets and stuff they're pretty quality.
Yeah,
I have a few of them. They're really expensive though. I just don't see it being worth it. But you're right. Like, United Bricks is banging. Like, they have amazing minifigs, but unless they're purchasing their like pot helmets or whatever from like Brick Arms, they're garbage. When they print them themselves, they are not good. Yeah,
I've just ordered a few. I've just ordered a few from them that have got those 3D printed hats, and I'm just like, I know they're just gonna fall off, and a lot of them break as well. A lot of them literally break because like they've got like a really thin helmet on them, and like you're trying to push the helmet on, and it just like the cap on it just like snaps off, and it's like, you're great.
Yeah, I'm checking. Every once in a while, I'm Googling things just to see, by the way, so that's what I'm doing on my computer.
Yeah, to be honest, I should be doing more of that as well. Like, have you seen like the Napoleonic Scottish ones? Not Napoleonic, it's like the War of 1812. You see the hats on it?
The Grenadier one?
Yeah, you see the hat. Share your screen with me so I can see it.
It doesn't, I hate to say, it doesn't even look that good. Here, let me get it on display capture here. So, there it is. I'm just sharing it with the stream right now, but it doesn't look good, I will say. Don't you think?
Well, I can't see it, so I couldn't tell.
Well, why aren't you Googling yourself?
No, I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like. Yeah, no. Well, hold on. Let me
share my screen, or else I'll leak all of our...
Fine. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Right, hold on. Let me
I do think though some of these World War I helmets look identical to the fake ones I bought on like AliExpress. They might be using fake helmets for the World War I soldiers.
Yeah, but what is a fake helmet though? Because like, they're all fakes. Because they like, you know what I mean? Like they don't like.
Yeah, but it's the quality of the plastic. Like, because there is better and worse plastic, and these ones, oh, they have a bunch of new soldiers. Okay, wait, hold on. My wallet.
Yeah, no, mate. Like you wouldn't believe, mate. You wouldn't believe how many of these I've got. It's actually like it's really upsetting. It's really upsetting.
At least these prices are decent. I will say, United Bricks, even though as a American, I have to pay more for their shipping and stuff like that, it's kind of worth it because they're not too expensive.
We should do trades, mate. We should literally, like, genuinely, we should do like collaboration, like mystery box, like stuff, like where we literally, like, I don't know.
We talked about this.
We've had so many plans. Well, this is one of like the questions. We opened up the floor to ask the audience. So if you've got any questions, you should be commenting on the YouTube videos, or if you're on Spotify, engage with it however you can. Get involved with our Discords. I don't know. Like, if you've got any questions, let us know because we will answer them. And one of the questions was, and I think it is a very good question. It was from Stick Golden. He said, "Have either of you ever started a really ambitious project, but had to stop halfway through production? If so, why and what was the project?" So, Daley, speaking of, give me a project you've started and you had to stop.
I mean, there's kind of countless ones. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot. Are we sticking to specifically Lego?
Yeah, if you've got a Lego example, I would say it probably make more sense, seeing as this is the Lego podcast. I don't know if we said that yet, but there we go.
There was one where basically what I was doing was I was building. Okay, so for background, I did a part 1 to this where I like built the German army from World War II in Lego, and I built like a ton of their different vehicles and stuff like that. I thought it was a really cool video idea, but it's just one of those ones that didn't translate well into like a thumbnail and a title.
Right.
So it didn't do that well. And I was halfway through filming the sequel to that, which was the US Army, and the video flopped. I was like, I gotta abort. Like, and so like I had spent days building US Shermans, and like I had like an M3 Lee and all these different tanks and like minifigures, and I was like, I gotta pivot this somehow. So I think I turned it into like a D-Day battle or something. Oh yeah, like that.
a nice easy. That's in the bank, bro. A nice easy one.
A layup. You know? And so I went with that instead, and I think it did decent. But it was like a moment of, oh shoot, I messed this up bad. This is not the banger idea I thought, because the first one is doing terrible. Time to ditch. So I don't know if that's like overly ambitious. It's more like I just realized this was not it.
Okay. I'll hit you with a counter to that. So I think it was maybe my first or maybe even my second ever video on this channel when I did like my big unboxing, and I like threw all my bricks on the floor, because obviously I'm one of 4 boys. I got 3 brothers. We all got Star Wars Lego like through like all of our like childhood. We had a ridiculous amount of sets.
Oh, and wait, can I guess what the project was? I think you told me about this.
Yeah, go on.
Were you trying to rebuild all of the Lego sets you had, but they were all like jumbled together or something?
Yeah. I was gonna rebuild every one of my childhood Lego Star Wars sets, which I kind of want to try and do, but like it's just such a momentous. So I think the second video on my channel ever, I think I actually had started, because what I did was I built the easiest one possible. I built the Tusken Raider, you know, like the stupid little speeder bike. It's like Anakin, like old school yellow face Anakin on like the Tusken Raider bike with like the thing. Yeah, like real old school Lego like Star Wars. Yeah, tiny little set. And I built that. And then I just never touched it again. Oh, like there's actually a picture I think on that video of all of the ones we've got. Let me see if I can find it. Because it would be well worth showing the picture, like, of all the sets that I had.
I gotta show the one that you built. It's tiny.
Nah, yeah.
It's like 50 pieces.
It's the thought that counts. Oh, I'm running an ad right now. I'm trying to. Bro, I'm getting ads on my own channel. How's surely that? Surely,
you need YouTube Premium, bro.
Yeah,
How do you not have YouTube Premium and you're a YouTuber?
Yeah, no. I do on my main channel, but I'm on my Lego channel at the moment. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm showing the people my screen.
They're not attached to the same account?
No.
Did you make?
No. No.
Oh, Scott. The way you run things is so unoptimized.
Really? Oh. Oh,
because you could get YouTube Premium across multiple accounts if it's the same base account.
No.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You've already screwed up.
Okay, right.
Let's move on.
I'm showing the stream my screen right now. Okay. So what they can see. So it's like what's her name? For some reason I always forget
Padme?
her. No. I would remember Padme, mate. I'd remember Padme.
Yeah, I mean Natalie Portman. Come on.
Yeah. And what's the? It's like the Kashyyyk. It's the Kashyyyk like Wookiee catamaran. But what's the? Yeah. So it's the Kashyyyk Wookiee catamaran. But like, what's the woman's name from that?
Luminara.
Yes. I always forget her name for some reason. And then you
got Luminara Dooley. You got Glub Shido. You got them all.
That name. And so, then also like the speeder bikes. Then also Slave One, the original Naboo Starfighter, the Gungan Sub, the General Grievous Chase. And then it goes down. So then it got like a tripod, like the Star Wars tripod, like the Clone Walker, Clone Turbo Tank, Arc Trooper, a bunch of clone army packs or whatever you call them, and like droid army packs. And then it jumped off the screen. No, it's just my big face. What's the transport ship called? Clone transport ship.
Oh, LAAT gunship?
LATT gunship, and then obviously the Tusken Raider, the Tusken Raider pal, Jabba's sail barge, the ATST, and then also like a massive Star Wars. Sorry, it's all Star Wars. What do you call it? Like a space destroyer. What the hell do you, mate? My brain.
Star Destroyer.
Star Destroyer. Space Destroyer. Christ.
Bro, we literally lived the same childhood. Like I had all of those. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, so imagine them all being in one just mashed up box, and imagine the prospect of trying to rebuild all those. From that.
Oh, it sounds like hell.
Also, imagine how many missing parts there'd be. You know what's really a shame, mate? Because when I was sorting through that, like there were these like long blue string-like pieces, and I was like, "What the hell is this? This isn't Lego." And then I binned them, and then like literally like a couple of days later, I realized, oh, that was the bits that were supposed to come out of the Gungan Sub at the back. You know, like the long blue tail that comes off the back of the Gungan.
I bet those are worth a lot of money too.
Yeah,
I bet those are like
straight up bin them, bro.
Expensive.
Like literally, like oh mate, it's such a shame. But yeah, so there's a lot of projects which I've worked on. Like for example. Holding up to the camera, I should have held this up earlier, but this is the Type 59. This is the size of the Type 59 with a complete interior that I'm working on. This was almost a failed project, but fortunately I found that file, and so I can continue. Yeah. But mate, like there's just the list goes on.
Wasn't that supposed to be a April Fool's Day project?
Yeah, well now you understand how delayed this project's been, mate. Because literally,
it's April 30th. Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's almost May. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna lie, you might have missed the date.
No, it's just mate. It's just like it's comedic timing, mate. That's all. It's just comedic timing.
It's even funnier now, actually.
yeah. It's even funnier.
April Fools. It's July.
Oh my god! Speaking of the almost being May, have you got anything lined up for May 4th?
I have a couple of Star Wars videos I want to do, but I don't think it's gonna get done in time for May 4th.
Yeah.
Like it's like 4 days away.
Yeah, that's not enough time,
yeah.
mate. That's not enough time, no.
I really screwed the pooch because I messed up so I have a medieval video that I'm like almost done with, and I kind of work on them in chunks. Like I might not necessarily do all of one at once. I might like work on a few builds for one and then a few builds for another kind of a thing.
Right.
And the medieval one is like set to go for May 4th. But I feel like everyone's going to be like, why didn't you do a Star Wars video on May 4th if I upload a medieval video?
It's just April 1st, mate. April 1st, late April 1st joke. We're uploading on May 4th.
Yeah. It's just a little quaint meme for you.
It's comedic timing that just only us get, and anyone who's listening to the Lego podcast. Is that going to become really obnoxious if I continue doing that? Every time I say the Lego podcast.
Well, it's the one, dude. It's how we differentiate ourselves from others.
We're just going to claim official status, even though Lego would probably want nothing to do with us, especially with the video I'm working on now.
Yeah, I think Lego might. Do they even sell stuff in China?
I don't know, but why China? Why China? This video could be from anywhere, bro.
Oh, I don't. It's true. It never even happened, so I don't. You're just like
what?
Doing
Fiction what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, mate. What are you talking about? What?
Well, it didn't happen, so
what didn't
there's
happen?
nothing to talk about.
What didn't happen?
I don't know. You tell me, dude.
Now you're just being weird. Tell you what, I've got a couple more questions. Okay. I think some of this we've actually kind of touched on, and this I kind of do want to get your thought on. Lego Ship 2022 asked Cobi or Lego, which one is better price-wise, quality-wise, and building-wise? What's your thoughts?
Well, one was able to build a franchise around Paul Gasol and win his 4th and 5th ring, which was truly impressive. The other is an excellent children's toy. So
Sorry. Wait, what? Oh, are you talking about? Oh no, are you talking about basketball or something?
Yeah.
Oh no, mate. I'm amazed I got that. I'm amazed I actually picked up on that.
I was just doing a little cringe, just a little touch of cringe.
Mate, that's all you do. So, that's just a permanent feature.
I will say. Okay, I'm just ignoring you.
Yeah,
but
as you were.
In terms of like actual quality, Lego has Cobi beat, in my opinion, by still a long way. But Cobi's decent nowadays. I don't know. I haven't bought a ton. I don't know if you have, but like Cobi as a product has gotten better over the years. Their minifigs are butt ugly.
Yeah,
I would never in my life buy a Cobi minifig.
Oh boy,
they're disgusting.
Straight away, they're so bad. They're so painfully bad.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So here's my take on it. So like I feel like the question was maybe like targeting the wrong thing. So like you talk about like which is better price wise. I would say. It's like price.
Oh,
price,
I was talking about quality of the material.
Yeah, no. So that's my point. Is like I'm not sure like prices. I'm not sure the question is like worded right because like I think where Cobi and Lego differ. So like the question was which is better price wise, quality wise, and building wise. But I think the price and quality kind of go hand in hand because the lower price of Cobi is accommodated by that lower quality, and so like the Lego is a higher quality and therefore a higher price. But
it's also a little bit of brand recognition. Like a smidge of brand.
Yeah, but like the distinction for me is the fact is like the what they produce, and so the fact that Cobi actually produced military stuff, I think like even though like what I would if ever I was to get a Cobi like tank or whatever, because let's be honest, like so long as you can't see the studs, if it's all tiles, like you actually pretty much can't tell the difference that it's not Lego. If you're just like looking at like a tank and it's like plates and it's all tiles, and so like what the the builds that they actually produce are really really cool. Like some of like their tanks are really really nice. I like them. But if ever I was to buy one, what I would do is I'd literally like I'd open a pack and the first thing I'd do is I'd literally burn the minifigures, mate. Like they are absolutely
disgusting.
I don't know what they were thinking. I don't understand. Like do you know what Duplo is?
Yeah. Isn't that owned by Lego?
Yeah, I think maybe
it's Duplo.
Yeah. I don't know. Somehow like they took the worst parts of Lego minifigures and the worst parts of Duplo and just like like absolutely smashed it together, bodged it together, and produced an absolutely like horrifying like monster. And that is the Cobi minifigure. They are atrocious.
I'm not gonna lie though, the prices I'm seeing for Cobi aren't even that good anymore. I mean, it's certainly better than Lego, but you can get other knockoff Lego for cheaper if you go on Amazon. Like, I bought this Lego mouse tank, you know, the MAUS, the German.
Oh yeah. Mouse. Yes, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I'll send you the link to it right now, but so you can look. But
Panzer 8.
Sure, I have no idea the number. So it's by Nefiles, and it is amazing quality. I was shocked by the quality of this tank. It's 2,300 pieces, and it was $90. Like, that is crazy good piece ratio.
I need to, like, on Amazon, it's forcing me to type in like some characters to make sure I'm a real human being before I can see it. Okay, I've got it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, this Cobi Tiger tank is 95 euros, and it's 1,200 pieces. So you can get double the pieces for
Send me the
less
Cobi one.
price.
Send me the Cobi one.
Yeah,
Cobi.
I mean, it's a different vehicle, but it's less Cobi. There you go. So I just, I don't know. It just seems like a better option, even from that.
I just hate seeing that minifigure on the left side, bro.
It's disgusting. Oh, and these actually came with decent minifigs. Like, these just came with knockoff Lego minifigs, which is perfect.
Yeah, it's got a full functioning interior. That is impressive. You know what? I just have tempted to start like getting this stuff, but like just for the tanks, like just purely for the tanks.
I mean, this is one of those things that I could send you in like a mystery box if we wanted to do a collab.
Oh yeah.
I don't really need it anymore. You know, it's
ship it off. So, yeah,
ship it on to Scot.
Yeah, no, that's actually like, mate. This is the thing. Is like, again, I can't help but circle back to this. It's like what an absolute like disappointment it is the fact that Lego doesn't just let Bricklink. Why would you stop letting them just make military stuff? Anyway, I'm not going to circle back to that.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I'm not going to circle back
I mean,
to that.
it's fair. It's fair. Well, okay. And then the other thing that really ticks me off is the fact that a lot of, and I know you have the exact same gripe, but in reverse. And this isn't something that the shops can handle, but like some of the best custom shops for Lego where you could get stuff for cheap are all based in like France, weirdly, or the UK.
Are they?
And yeah, it's really strange. And I want these customs, but it's like then I have to pay $25 to import it to the US, and
what
then it becomes
customs?
not worth it.
What do you mean by custom? Like, what do you mean like for like Star Wars stuff or
like United Bricks? You know?
Like, so United Bricks is like one of the only ones that I know of that's like quite like reliable. But like, mate, I don't know. Like the majority of them, in my experience, like TMC, Brickmania, like the majority of the ones that I come across are American.
I feel like maybe it's just one of those symptoms of like it's always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
I feel like the last few orders I've made have all had to go through customs and shit.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So it's just like
we should trade. We should trade numbers, bro. Let's get this up. We actually genuinely should do a big mystery box video.
Though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
What would you do? What would we do on?
No, I would still say mine.
What would we do on World War I, World War II, or Star Wars, or a combination, or just literally everything.
Yeah, it could be. Well, I feel like we should nail down one. I have a World War II mystery box that I've had for a while that I was gonna do. So maybe we should start with like Star Wars, but that'd be pretty cool to just send each other random stuff. I'd love to do medieval actually. Like if we both bought a shit ton of medieval stuff to send to each other.
Oh, yes.
Sick.
That would actually be, and like you can put like some little like mini fortification builds in there, that kind of stuff. That's not a bad idea. Yeah. Like I'm quite like, the thing is, those kind of videos, like those are actually like I want to try and get some more like I'll just be blunt. Like some of these projects are just like so like convoluted and complex, and particularly the way that I actually like construct my videos, like it can just end up becoming a nightmare. And those kind of videos are just like quite simple, straightforward, and still have the view potential. I genuinely, mate, I would happily do one of those. Like, to put it in perspective, like how you know, how much I sometimes spend on these videos. My first Napoleonic video, like, I spent literally straight up £1,000 on United Bricks, specifically United Bricks Lego minifigures. Mate, I've now purchased somewhere in the order of £5,000 worth of United Bricks Lego minifigures. You know what, Daley?
That's insane.
Daley, do you want to just occupy the podcast just for 1 second? And I'm gonna go grab something just so I can show people, because it's actually getting absurd. I'll be back in 1 second.
I know Scott and I are complaining like a lot about prices and stuff, but like we're still super blessed to be able to like do this as a job. It's just like, I think it just goes to show how crazy the market has gone. And like, if you don't have a Lego channel and you're buying this stuff for fun, like I used to, it is way worse, because we can at least hopefully make our money back on a video. But if you're just buying this stuff because you're a huge fan of Lego and customs, it is brutal because it's skyrocketed in price. And that's why so many people flock to fake stuff. And I don't blame them. I do it too now, because it's like, I can't spend, you know, $500 on Lego all the time. It's like, I want to build a set. Oh, you're back. Hello.
Yeah, I'm back. No, like, I think it's a good point. It's a very good point.
We're very privileged, but at the same time, it's frustrating.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, I don't want to come across just like as straight up complaining the whole time. It's just one of those. Yeah, you know, now you pointed it out, I do kind of feel like a wet wipe. Yeah, it's a rant episode. It's a complaint episode.
Yeah.
Literally,
this is just us. Get it off our chest.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, this is a podcast. Like, it's just a therapy podcast. Like, you guys just get to hear us complain. So I'm gonna show something to the live stream right now. So Daley, I'll send you a picture of this later. But what the people will be seeing right now is literally, let's see, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 by 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So it's basically like around about what? So what is it? Was that 10? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Yeah, so 10 by 10. So it's literally like yeah. Basically 100. Like, so it's So I've got 100 Lego World War I minifigures. Pretty much specifically and solely from United Bricks.
From United Bricks?
Yes.
Why, Scott?
Yes.
That is crazy.
So that literally there is like $1,500 of Lego minifigures.
While you continue counting, I'm gonna go get something of myself, because that's ridiculous.
No. Oh my god. But yeah, no, it is a very good point. Like again, like whilst we're like rambling and raving and that kind of stuff, we're kind of like playing up to it. Of course, we both enjoy what we do, and as Daley says, we are definitely both privileged to be in this position. We don't want you to get the impression that we are like we're just literally like rambling on and on and on and on without an understanding of the position that we're in. Like the fact that we've actually been able to move into the Lego like genre, and actually that's a good point. The fact that we've been able to move into the Lego genre, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, I literally just straight up copied Daley. Daley started a Lego channel, and then obviously we've been friends for years. I literally told him, I was like, I like that. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. The fact that we've been able to do that and have so much success is is absolutely fantastic. So it's of course a balance. Daley, what have you got for us?
Scott, I have my pile of World War I Lego minifigures.
Okay.
And I would say I have about 40 of them. I have French, I have Germans, I have multiple different faces for each. I've got Americans, I've got some Belgians. This cost me $40. It was $1 a fig to buy these, and they're like super custom high detail, but they're fake. Like, you are overspending, my friend.
Where did you get them from?
eBay. They shipped from France.
Ah, mate, why? Where? How? This is, okay, I couldn't.
You know those baguette people?
Yeah, I try not to think about them, man. I try not to think about.
I don't blame you. I couldn't stand being neighbors with those.
Mate, that's why we've tried invading them loads of times. Mate, I tried to find them. I'll just be straight up. Like I've tried to find loads of them, and I've just had like no luck finding a reliable source of like reasonable quality minifigures.
It's hard because they come and go off the market. It's really weird Because I think if they don't sell enough, they just take them down and stop printing them, and they move on to the next thing.
I must have found them just like always on the go section, like when they're gone. Like, because I've not found any of them. And like, you know, those like, I've got like some Napoleonic minifigures that also were like quite high quality and good. I got like one batch of, and then I was like, oh, actually, I think these are like so good, and the helmets were so high. The helmets were so high quality that I was like, I'm gonna get like a bunch more of these. Went online, nothing, nowhere to be seen. Could not find them anywhere. I was like, I was like, literally all the pages have been removed that originally sold them. And the same with like my original like World War II American minifigures. They're all just gone. Like so I just resorted to just laying down like what's left in my bank account to get the minifigures in.
I mean, I'm gonna try and see if I can find them for you, but I mean, it's worth it if you can get the knockoffs. I think now. Just because it is overpriced, and it's, you know, you got to get a little bit crafty. I will say I do not buy ones that aren't good replicas. Yeah. Because there's a lot that look like absolute garbage out there. Yeah. And for those ones, I'm like, nah, I'm not buying it. Just looks like crap. Why would I buy that? But the ones that like, you're like, if it's even an HD video, I could not tell the difference between custom and fake. I'll buy that, you know? Yeah, no, it's a good point. And also, like, the thing is as well, it's all like scalability, and like like each video like is kind of like bigger than the last one, and so that's why I've ended up having so many of these, is because if you literally like look at the progression of my videos, like, you know, in the first one I had like literally one real minifigure, and then I bought like, you know, like 10, 15 more, and then like you never want your next video to be less substantial or less impressive than the previous one. Like, this is just like, it's like, as like a YouTuber, like, and I know you have this exact same feeling. You always want to try and one up yourself, and one of the ways in which you do that is by creating a bigger build, a better build with more going on, with more minifigures. And like, what I realized was I'd started on like one of my bigger trench builds. I think it's like recently like got like 320,000 views or something like that. Nice. Like when I first started placing the minifigures, I literally I didn't have enough, and I had to buy more because I had this big trench build, and then it just felt like they're really like, because I built a bigger build, and therefore there needed to be more minifigures, but I didn't have more minifigures, and therefore it just didn't feel like there was anyone on the battlefield. It was like, there's this big battlefield. It just felt like a ghost town, and so like I couldn't find any like good fakes either. So I was like, right, I've just kind of not really got a choice. If I want to make this look good, I'm gonna just have to lay down my bank account, sacrifice my savings to get the job done. So yeah, it's a weird balancing act, man. And like, again, it just really sucks, especially if you're not a Lego YouTuber, because it's expensive, man.
Yeah, that's actually such a good point. That's such a good point. Like, if you're just trying to collect this stuff out of like hobbies, like when you actually stop and think like a minifigure costing like 15 quid, mate, good God. Like, that is absolutely atrocious. If you used to be able to get like an entire Bionicle for that. Like, get an entire Bionicle, for that. Or like, what else would you get for 15 quid? Do you know what I mean? Like, you could back in the day,
you could buy some Steam games.
Yeah.
Too, now, like,
for the price of one bit of plastic, it's insane. And then when you go to Brickmania and you're looking at like some of the prices on it, it's like 28 quid. Like, literally like $30+ for a single bit of plastic. It's like, I literally feel like you may as well just rob me at gunpoint. Like, at that point. Christ.
It is a bit of a yikes. It's like, it's too much money sometimes. But I will say, like, it's completely gone from my head now. Oh, I had it.
Wow. World-class podcast.
You ranted it out of me, Scott.
Yeah, I did. Well, listen, you had some Lego leaks that I think you wanted to bring up, didn't you, at some point? Because that's a regular theme.
Yeah.
But there's not much going around, is there?
We covered most of them in the last episode, is the thing. There's really just one I wanted to show off, which I thought was kind of cool.
Right.
Suspense so let me go builder. Ahead and I'll share my screen to you.
Drum roll, please. Wow, what was that noise?
Drum roll.
You nailed that.
All right, and then here it is for the boys. So this is the Okay, there's a little bit of a background to this, right? Do you see it, Scott?
Yeah, sir.
So this is the Trade Federation Troop Carrier. It's going to be 262 pieces. I think this is fire, and it's based off of old troop carriers from like 2002 that you might have had as a kid. I had it, and so you might recognize the design a little bit. It's sick. I think this is a great build. I think it's really, really cool. But the catch is, it is only going to be available on May 4th.
Right.
And on top of that, you have to spend like, I think it's like $170 in order to get it for free.
What?
It's a free with purchase set. So you don't just get it by purchasing it. You can only get it by purchasing a certain amount. So it's like cool.
From where,
if you
though?
were planning
Like directly from
Lego.com.
Lego? Okay, from Lego.com. Right,
Yeah.
okay. Alright, so you think that's going to be like a collector's item then, do you? Like, going to go from price?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they do it every year, and all the previous years become big collector's items and stuff, you know?
Right.
And so the interesting thing is, like, this is obviously a great set, and I think it will, you know, drive people to pay that. It's great if, like, you're already planning on spending $170.
Yeah.
Then it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah,
whatever,
so, yeah.
you're getting a freebie. That's cool. But the problem is that this is a set that a lot of people just want. And they're like, back in the day, the thing it's replicating costs $10. Can't you just make it $20 so I don't have to pay $170?
Yeah. Like when people are buying that, like specifically, like I would say, like if you're gonna release like a limited edition, like build, like you want it to be something that's like it's not like an army builder. Do you know what I mean? Like those sorts of things are army builders. People buy those like in bulk because they need them to pad out their army collections. That just doesn't feel like a particularly appropriate like what you would maybe want for that is like a one-off like special vehicle that like has maybe got like one unique minifigure. Hey, I'll tell you what. You know that what's that guy from Rogue One called again? The guy who got that minifigure, like it was a really good-looking minifigure.
Oh. Yeah. Oh god.
Saul.
I know who you're talking about.
Saul Guerrera.
Saul Goodman.
What?
No, you're right. It's something Guerrera.
Saul Guerrera, I swear. Is it?
Is it Saul Guerrera? Saw Guerrera. Saw.
Okay, I did pretty well. To be fair,
that was pretty good. Yeah,
that was pretty close. So how about I have a crazy opinion. How about instead of just randomly slapping him in with a Darth Maul set, like how about make a like a one-off set for him instead of just a minifigure that's just slapped in with a Darth Maul like Phantom Menace set for some reason. I don't understand that still.
It's weird because like they also did it with I don't know. Did you watch the Clone Wars at all?
Yes, sir.
They had like ARC Trooper 5s and Echo. They released an ARC Trooper. Was it Echo or 5s they released? I don't remember.
With what set?
Okay, it was Lego. Yeah, so they released it with the Yavin 4 set, which is a original trilogy set, randomly including a Clone Wars minifigure.
What?
So,
Yavin 4 is like where they had the Rebel base, yeah?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Tantive 4.
It's Tantive 4. Tantive 4.
It's the ship where Darth Vader is like smoking fools.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Okay. And
it's
all right.
It's cheeky marketing, because someone is buying this set specifically just to get that one clone trooper. And instead of including it in a Clone Wars set where they're likely to get more of what they want, they're including it in a Rebel set. Meanwhile, they're including a Rebel character, Saw Gerrera, in a prequel trilogy set. So it's like, why not swap those? Because the fan is going to want to stick with,
Yeah, no, you raise a really good point. You raise a really, really good point, actually. That's like that. It's just kind of a bit backhanded, like marketing tactics, to be honest.
Yeah,
like they're like divide and conquer. Like they're kind of forcing you to buy like other things that so like you probably wouldn't even need those other components for whatever army, because generally speaking, when somebody's like collecting, normally they instead of going wide, they collect one specific type of like army. For example, you would maybe try and build out like a stormtrooper army, or you would try and build out like I don't know, like a droid army, that kind of stuff. And by splitting those over like all those different things, it kind of forces you to dip into other areas where then half of that's just going to be redundant to you. You're not going to need it. Yeah, it's cheeky.
Yeah.
I've got a kind of a broader question to you with regards to like you know, obviously if he's Saw Gerrera's from what do you even call the new trilogy? Like I don't even think I don't even want to really think about it too much.
Sequels.
The sequels? Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. Oh, prequels, sequels, the original. Okay, right, sure. I just don't really want to think about them too much. But what do you think? What do you think the future of those Lego sets is? Because they have no legacy. I really they just don't have the same kind of. Here's a thought, right? Here, just and this is relevant to what I was originally saying. People throw a lot of shade on the prequels, and this is before the sequels even came out. I still had this opinion.
Yeah,
people throw a lot of shade.
Shady, yeah.
However, like when you actually but the thing is, people pick out only the bad parts from the prequels. But can you imagine like the Star Wars universe without the prequels? Like the whole when you actually stop and think about it, imagine for a second you haven't seen any of the Star Wars, you don't know what to expect. The way that the diplomacy and the rise of the rise and fall of the Jedi, and also like the creation of the clone army, that kind of stuff, all of that, it feeds really nicely, and it actually complements very naturally and pads out the Star Wars universe in a very a very complementary way. It's added a lot to the universe. The sequels, however, haven't. They just haven't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say, is what you're describing is literally the difference between adding to a story and trying to expand where it doesn't need to be expanded. The sequel trilogy really adds almost nothing to the actual lore.
Yeah.
It takes what was done before and rehashes it, almost like Star Wars is now cyclical. Is that the right word? Like a cycle.
Yeah,
cyclical. Yeah, that's it. They're trying to make it as if another Death Star is always on the next horizon and stuff like that. It just doesn't add anything. It rather just sort of copies, and so I think that's where it's just really boring.
Yeah.
To go anywhere with that. And to your point, that's a really good point, because there are no sequel Star Wars sets right now. They did a ton of them. I'm guessing they did not sell well. Yeah. Because Lego is not releasing more of them. I'm Googling right now to see if there's
because
really any.
Nobody cares about that part of the universe, because they just botched it. It didn't have its own unique identity, feel, its own distinct story. What it felt like is it just felt like a bit of a rerun of the original trilogy. It was the same themes. There wasn't really much different. It's such a shame. It's such a missed opportunity. Imagine if they had done, for example, I know that there's I don't know if you know, but they've released an announcement, letting everyone know that this is old news maybe now, but they're gonna do another Rey movie. Just oh my god. How have you not
shoot me now?
How have you not got the message yet? How about instead of kicking the carcass of the sequel trilogy, how about you try something interesting, new? If you were to do the birth of the Jedi, or the Old Republic, or something way off in the future, or this expanded universe has got so many different things that you could pull on, even in the sequel trilogy, if they'd done, for example, there's that, I can't remember what the name of them is at the moment, but there's an invasive species from another galaxy that comes in, and there's a whole war where
Orcs?
the two sides. I don't. Orcs?
Wait, what are you talking? The sequel trilogy?
No. This is my point. So the sequel trilogy didn't do this, but what I said is imagine instead of doing the sequel trilogy, imagine they had instead decided to focus on a truly distinct. Something that has its own identity, rather than just a rerun of the original trilogy. They'd focused on okay, you've got these two sides. The Empire has collapsed. You've got the New Republic, and you've got the First Order. Instead of just them just doing a rerun of the original trilogy, how about you had instead focused on they're equal in power, and they have to work together. They have to put their differences aside to fight this like external enemy, like that's like this like really really powerful, and it's running rampage through the galaxy. I don't know. That's just like it's just an example of something that they could in theory do. It's not an original idea that I've come up with, by the way. It's something I heard somebody else say, and I literally just thought, I was like, it's like that would just be so much more interesting. Like and you can see it in the sales of these Lego products, because who is collecting a First Order army?
Dude,
nobody.
I am looking right now, and by the way, my dog is snoring, so I don't know if people can hear that.
Yes, go on, Scott.
His name is Scout.
His name is Scott.
I will say,
Scott.
I have. I'm ignoring it. I'm looking right now on the website. I don't see any sequel trilogy sets at all. I see Mandalorian, which is fair because that's popular. I'm seeing some. Some of the Ahsoka stuff. There's no sequel trilogy stuff on here at all. And if you go, they have a Rise of Skywalker section. The only 2 products listed there are the Millennium Falcon, and I think they're listed there because it's seen in the movie, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not even the right characters. It's the original trilogy characters for the Millennium Falcon.
What they've done, right? Sorry, carry on. I'm just raging, bro. I'm raging.
Yeah. I'm just saying that it's crazy how they went from releasing a ton of these sets to now going back to only having TV shows, prequels, and original trilogy. It's crazy. There's 3 entire blockbuster movies that are just wiped off of the merchandising of this franchise now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
It's a cataclysmic failure, and even and the rest of them will go the same way as well. Like literally, stop and remember for a second, like the fact that they didn't just produce like the sequel trilogies. They also produced oh my good god, Boba Fett, mate. Like I remember you suggesting you liked it at the time, and I
did like it a little bit.
Mate, it was an
I
absolute
thought parts of it were really
travesty.
Stupid.
It was an absolute travesty.
Wait. Let me defend my point on this. I think the very first couple episodes were kind of good. It was like him coming back. You get to see like him training, and like I thought the stuff with the Tusken Raiders was good, and I thought it was like setting up to be like this cool like crime boss style show with like almost a mafia.
They turned
Star
him into
Wars
a
show.
simp. They literally turned him into a simp, bro.
Well, then you get the scooters, and like that was the episode where I was like, "This is ridiculous and so stupid, and I hate this now."
It was awful. Okay.
I don't like the criticism that like Boba Fett is like super old and stuff like that, because it's like they brought back the actor, and if they hadn't brought back the actor, people would be pissed about that too. So I just think that's like fake.
I don't think it's a problem he's old
anger.
at all. Like they had an opportunity to do something truly like fantastic with that series. No 2 ways about it. Yeah. They could have made that work. But they instead of just making this like old pacifist, he is literally like the badass bounty hunter guy, and they turned him into like a pacifist simp that just kind of doesn't really do anything in his own story the entire time. Totally boring, completely uninteresting, and a massive missed opportunity for new interesting Lego sets. Like when you actually like bring it down the chain, like imagine like they had done like a variation of a slave, like a variation of Slave 1 that got really popular. I don't know, that sort of thing. Yeah. So the sequel trilogy, absolute travesty. A new solo film, absolute travesty. Obi-Wan, absolute travesty. Ahsoka. No.
Dude, I'm such a baby. If you throw colors and lightsabers in front of me, I'm like clapping. This is good. I'm like,
the storytelling is so
I understand.
Weak. It's so weak. There's like it's like devoid of creative talent.
I'm well aware I have dog shit taste. I understand that my taste is terrible. I will admit that. But I think for like the viewer, I think I represent the viewer who just kind of enjoys being entertained. And so for me, it's fine. But when you
turn your
get
brain
into
off,
the
like viewing kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. But if you're like get into the nitty gritty of it and you're like, we really gotta like make some art here
No,
or like really expand the universe.
I'm sorry, I disagree.
Terrible.
I'm sorry, I disagree
Okay.
because like it's laziness. It's like you're like just justifying like lazy story writing. Like they could very easily have just tightened up that script and like refined the story
Wait, are you talking about Boba or are you talking about Obi-Wan?
Either. Let's say Obi-Wan for the sake of argument, because we were talking about that there because you said that you'd like that. Okay, so with Obi-Wan,
okay,
like the story, like it was like Flash. It was all just like member berries. It was all just like oh, remember this, remember that, like pulling on heartstrings of things that we used to like. But like they're just really, the story was just so loose. There wasn't like, it really was not tightly scripted, and it just felt like a massive missed opportunity. And like they could literally have made Obi-Wan, and I'm not saying they needed to go bigger, better, more impressive, more action. I'm literally saying like if it was just written better, if it was just more like, if they just I don't know, like just like tried to less padding and more focus on actually more focus on Obi-Wan as well, might I add. I would also say, like, I don't know, mate. It just felt like
so the way I see it with Obi-Wan is I agree with a lot of those points. I definitely do. And I think that they messed up big time in a lot of ways. However, I think they also succeeded in some different ways. I think they tried to tackle something that they weren't ready to tackle, that being like the ideas of like PTSD and like the intense need for like therapy and stuff like that, which you can make the argument it doesn't belong in Star Wars, and I would completely agree. It's just weird to have those heavy topics and have such like trauma topics. But like, what else would that character go through? Like, it sort of begs the question of whether or not the entire movie or series needed to exist in the first place, because Obi-Wan literally is just hanging out canonically between episode 3 and episode 4. Like he's not really going on adventures, so they're like, okay, we'll give him a side quest and we'll show how traumatic everything was for him to experience. It's like, yeah, that makes sense, but is it going to make for good TV? And also, are we equipped with the writers who can handle this heavy topic correctly? And I don't think they were.
And is that and I would say also to that is like, is that what the viewers want to see, and is that appropriate to the audience? I want to quickly say as well, like, if that's the decision they've decided to go down, I would be well up for that. I would be really up to see. I would be really into like a much darker, like a much more like serious, like for example, I'll give you an example of this. Okay, so like, imagine if they'd gone for a very similar kind of vibe and aesthetic to Logan, like from like the X-Men series.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't, mate? They absolutely smash it. So it's like an old guy who's like beaten up, bruised past his time, and he's like down on his spirits and all that kind of stuff. But they nail the story, and they really make you empathize with him and his journey and his story. But there's also stakes, and like, but but there's also like a clear path to redemption, and it's just very, 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 very nicely woven together. Whereas it feels like they kind of just like, they tried a couple of things with this Star Wars like Obi-Wan thing. They kind of like, but the thing is, when you're gonna, like, you can't kind of do a bit of PTSD. If you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're gonna touch on that, you kind of need to go for it. You can't just So they just needed to pick a lane, and it just felt like what it was like a bunch of writers had sat down and they'd kind of just created a story of things that happened, and it was kind of a story that you could kind of follow, but it didn't really serve a particularly obvious, clear, or powerful like path to redemption or story arc. It was just kind of things happening and like sometimes quite cool. Like, it's just very base level stuff. And so all I'm saying is, like, they could have done that, but just more, like, they could have just expanded upon that. If they just tightened it up, they could have done it in an even smaller budget if they just really picked a lane and gone with it. But to my point, okay, moving on to that as well. The same goes for Ahsoka. Ahsoka was just boring, mate. It was so boring. Please tell me you didn't enjoy that. It was so slow. It was so slow.
I will say, I don't think it was the worst thing ever. I do agree it was slow, it was boring, and then like the zombie thing was so bad and there were parts I hated, but there were also parts I did enjoy. Like, that's my point, is these are long, hour-long episodes for some of them.
And like, you feel it.
Maybe
and
45 minutes.
Feel it.
You feel it. There are, it's like, if they had condensed it down to the best parts and taken away some of the stupidness, it would have been a banging movie. Like, it would have been a good movie.
Yeah. No, mate, I don't disagree with that.
And Ahsoka has no emotion.
Oh,
I couldn't stand her on screen,
none
bro.
None of them in that series did. Literally, none of them in that series did. It was literally just. It was just like
and
a bunch
the fan service was crazy.
Oh, mate, it was just a bunch of wet paper bags on screen. Like, it was, and they were just slowly walking around. This was a bunch of wet paper, like void, like jacket filler, like paper bag personalities, just slowly walking around places. It was so long. And so here's the problem: is what I think. Like, I think the I can't remember the woman's name who played her, but I think she's I think she's a very capable actor. And it's such a shame, because I think she could have. I truly believe that she could have done a much better job of that. But the problem, I think these series, like, they're literally told, like, these writers, like, they have an idea in their head. They don't have the experience or even the life experience to write into it. And I understand, I'm probably sitting in the same seat. I don't have the life experience and, like, depth of, like, character through a long life lived to really fill out these stories, like some of the Masters stories that you see, like Lord of the Rings, like Harry Potter. These kind of big expanded universes are all pulled on life experiences and whatnot. Like, a lot of these younger audiences,
to a degree.
But my point is, like, they're told, like, they're literally going into these series and they're just straight up told, this needs to be 8 episodes of 1 hour in length each, and then they're like. Like, so it's like a creative, like, it's just like, do you know what I mean? Like,
there's no room to be creative.
Yeah. So that's why it's so slow and dragged out, and it's like they kind of have to just like they kind of got to make the runtime, because they've got a budget. They've got a budget which is diminishing because everything keeps failing, and then they've been told they've got to make it do so. Yeah, we've kind of gone so hard onto Star Wars series.
I mean, I do agree with you completely. I will say I don't agree with the life experience point, because at the end of the day, there's so many amazing shows and movies that have been written with no life by a 25-year-old, you know? Like, how much life have you really lived? It's like, Tolkien is one thing because he's incredible and, like, had lived so much life until that point and was such a studied man, and, like, that's one thing. But, like, J.K. Rowling hadn't really lived life yet. She was super young when she wrote Harry Potter. Like, it can be done. I don't think the writers need that excuse. I think it's more so that they're just not that good at it. I mean, look at the Fallout series. Did you watch that?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I was quite surprised by that. Yeah, I was quite surprised.
I mean, it was incredible from start to finish, I thought, and
the first episode was
member berries.
I like the first episode almost put me off, mate. I don't know, for some reason the first episode just. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. But then after that, then I was like, oh, okay. Like, once the characters started developing, they really all had like, I thought it was very well done. But yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. But you're right.
It can be done, and there's fan service in it. But I think they focused more on the story itself, and then after the fact, we're like, oh, we'll put this little Easter egg here that fits. You know, like, instead of how many Easter eggs can we cram in here, and how do we cram them in here?
Yeah. No, I understand, but however, I agree with you, and I rescind my point to a degree. I think that like, still, like, on a bell curve, if you were to take a percentage of the population, I would say that, generally speaking, I would say that if you have, like, you're right, absolutely, people can be creative no matter what, like, people, depending on their environments, how their brain works, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, sure, I would say, but, like, as a percentage of the population, if you were to take, like, 1,000 people who had lived, like, really extremely interesting lives, they've lived all over the world, they've had a lot of hardship and suffering in their life, and, like, you know, they've really had to, like develop character as a result. If you took 1,000 of those people, and then 1,000 of people who had, like, just kind of, like, coasted through university and then just written a book, like, I would say, like, generally speaking, the people who had lived a longer, fuller life are going to have a lot more, like, to pull on for inspiration to build out those stories.
I agree.
And I think that's partly what the problem is, like, there's so many writers in, like, Hollywood that, because, like, they're just having to just pull all these kids in from from university, they just aren't really that qualified. And I think like it's also part of the problem is we used to get like a lot of we used to get like fewer high quality, high production quality films. Now with streaming services, it's just like there's just so much stuff.
Slop.
Yeah, it's just slop. Consume product. And so when you do come across something that's very well written, like it really takes me back. I'm just like, wow, I'm really captivated by this story. It really,
it's like it's refreshing, man.
Yeah.
It's something else. It's way better.
Yeah, and so like that's something that I've become much more appreciative of recently. It's like instead of just like things happening on screen, nice flashing colors, all that kind of stuff. I'm now much more interested in like those intelligently written stories, like where there's like really like well fleshed out dialogue, rather than just things happening on screen. And that's what I would say is like the sequels. Like I would personally say like I think Rogue One was a very good film. I think like not to just cast it.
I loved Rogue One.
I thought Rogue One was fantastic, and I really fancied Jyn Erso.
Oh, of course, yeah. She was kind of a babe. So.
I don't know. She was just. I liked her. She was good. She was good.
I mean, I think it's totally fair. I'm one of those people who I don't know if you know this, but I actually have a film certificate. So like in college, I got my film certificate. I've seen my fair share of art films and, you know, amazingly narratively driven films or the opposite. And I have been able to appreciate like all of them. Like I love pretty much all film, but I went to school with a lot of snobs.
Right.
And those snobs drove me insane. I'm not saying you're a snob, but like the people who I would be like, oh, this weekend I went and saw like Infinity War, because that was like right around when that came out. And they'd be like, oh, you know, like really snobbish about it. I was like, dude, shut the hell up. Like you're telling me you don't want to go see the biggest blockbuster of our generation? Like, also it's a really good, well done movie, but like it just, you know,
there's a name for it. I think contrarians, like they just like they always go against the flow. Yeah. Like if it's a popular thing, then they're not into it, that kind of thing. Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
And like I can appreciate, I think, both sides, where it's like, I love slop. I love to shovel slop in my mouth and watch the stupidest crap. Like, I love Adam Sandler movies. Sorry. James movies.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. Adam Sandler movies are not slop. Adam Sandler movies are like classics. Every last one of them is a classic.
Have you seen the new murder mystery ones they've done?
I kind of like them.
I thought it was the definition of slop. I enjoyed them. I thought they were fun, but I was like, this is slop. This is like,
I kind of liked them.
Come to the slop bowl, piggy, and you know, enjoy your Adam Sandler.
What I really like, you know, like the original, like I wasn't as excited about like Glass Onion, but you know, Knives Out. Like that.
I love Knives Out.
So good.
Yeah.
I loved that. So well written. But
I liked Glass Onion. It didn't recapture it as well.
No.
You know, they filmed the original Knives Out in my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Natick, Massachusetts. A lot of the filming was there.
You should have been an extra, bro. You could have.
Yeah, I lived down the street from it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's quite cool. Should we talk about some Lego?
Well, do we want to keep the podcast around the hour, or?
Mate, I don't know, mate. Like ultimately, like, oops, I clicked the wrong button. We literally, mate, we could just do whatever. Like I suppose it's our podcast,
yeah,
and
it doesn't matter.
There's no rules. So we just do what we want.
Screw the listeners.
Yeah,
we do what we want.
Mate, we literally just talked about films. The Lego podcast. We just talked about films for the last 40 minutes.
I consider there's going to be some weeks where we don't have enough Lego stuff to talk about, and we just talk about YouTube and stuff. And I think people will enjoy that anyway.
It's still kind of relevant. Like, Star Wars, a lot of your audience is interested in Star Wars, and probably mine is too. Like, and I think like it's similar kind of sphere of interests. Yeah.
I don't think people would be pissed about that. Yeah. So, well, yeah, we got to figure out a better. This is for our audience who are like, it's been 2 weeks. What happened? You said every week. We got to figure out a better filming schedule, because Zelda and I bought a house, so I was out of town for a lot of last week, and then Scott was derping about in the army or something. He keeps he keeps talking about something lame like that.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
I collected my kit and all that kind of stuff. And ramping up. But yeah, you're right. It's just so we started at the worst possible time when we both just suddenly had loads of stuff on.
Yeah, but we promise we will figure it out, and we will start a little bit more consistently uploading. There might be a couple more times where we miss a week. If we're being honest with ourselves, like that might happen, but we're gonna try to start doing a little bit better.
Yeah. What plan to upload every single Friday?
Yeah, if possible.
Yeah.
If manageable.
But yeah, if you're on YouTube again, like so, if you're on YouTube, then of course check out both our channels. They'll be linked in the channel listings and whatnot. And if you are new and you have listened to this point in the podcast, do subscribe and let me know what you think. And give us questions down below. And especially if you're on Spotify as well. This will when Daley finally decides he can be bothered to put it on Apple Tunes, it'll be there too. So we'll try and get it out on all platforms, and we should publish them at the same time when we do publish them. So wherever's easiest for you, you can get them. But yeah, I quite enjoy this, mate. To be honest, it's just like a little like venting session. To be honest. Yeah,
it's like a break from having to do serious videos instead.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's quite
have
good.
A chat. It's good.
Yeah. Just
all right. Well, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode, and we'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.